Thank you all for coming. Again, we're going to have these workshops the the fourth Monday of every month. I'm so excited to start this one out with our very special guest, Amy. Amy came to our club and spoke in person, and she is so dynamic and just the breath of fresh air that we all needed with her media experience and her wonderful inspirational story. She's going to take us through why we should be getting behind that camera and getting into the video, and some really good tips and treasures on how to be out on social media. So I don't want to take her thunder from her. Amy, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad you guys all joined us. This is a little bit different because of the role that you all play. So I really would like this to be interactive. I think I'm going to go through this a little bit differently than I do when I stand in front of a club and I've got the entire club there. I didn't want you to have to sit through my presentation. I may go ahead and if I feel like there's a slide that I want you to take a glance at, we'll do a quick screen share and then I'll come back out because this being virtual. I don't know if you had any chance of like my background or anything like that, but I have been delving through this space for a very long time, and it's been a lot of trial and error. And I started, just like all of you, loving volunteering, loving community outreach. Started my career years ago in wholesale mortgage. And the one thing that I learned very quickly at a young age when I started my career out in sales all over Southern California was that effective communication, being comfortable speaking in front of others, made a difference in my business. Fast forward, I'll share with you guys a little bit of the businesses that has made a difference in and how it's morphed into different opportunities throughout the years. But my husband and I are both Rotarians, so I'm going to put that out there right now. I absolutely love being a Rotarian. We're members of the Rancho Santa Fe Rotary down here in San Diego. But I was born and raised in San Dimas, and Ontario was my home for 20 years. So Southern California is just home to me. And there's something special about Rotary that and I'm going to get to my heart on that for all of you, because I know that I'm speaking to the PR groups. And I know that with you all being on this meeting, it means that you really do care about what each of your clubs and what your district is doing and saying, how can we get it out there bigger? So when I'm speaking to the general club, it's a little bit more of reaching them individually, their businesses, how this can impact them as individuals and as a club. But I really want to get to the meat of it with all of you. So Judy, what kind of time frame are we looking at? Because I'm a fast talker, so I'll try to rein it in. But I also wanted to just get right to the key points and not take up a bunch of our time this evening. So give me an idea. You're on mute. You're on mute.
So I don't want to go past 6:30. So a little under an hour, but you might, you might have some time to leave some time for Q&A. But I booked an hour for this, and so
we don't need an hour. Shoot, yeah. I'd have you guys sleeping by that point. Nah, we don't need an hour. I can get an incredible message out in 3 minutes and get visibility on it.
Even better.
Even better. Okay, so I'm gonna share screen for like here and there. Okay, and if you don't mind, I'm really embarrassed to say this is hysterical. But on my PowerPoint presentation, it wants to jump to all my screens, and it's really frustrating me, and I've got to fix that. Just had this worked on a little bit. So I'm going to just show you like my workshop mode here. We're going underground here. Okay. So are you guys looking at my PowerPoint? Yes. Okay, great. So digital communication strategies for today's digital world. Let me just show you. This will just give you a quick 20 seconds of my career. Is the audio working?
Yes. No.
After more than 20 years.
Oh, there it is.
What?
Professional recording artist, TV host, motivational speaker, and business development executive, I now love media coaching professionals and entrepreneurs to come alive on camera and maximize media opportunities in today's digital world, getting them ready for the lights, camera, and action.
That was a lot quicker than me trying to tell you my whole resume. There you go. We let media do it for us, right? Nice little 30-second commercial. Here's the important thing I wanted you guys to see. We're going to talk about, when I say today's digital world, I don't want everybody afraid, but this is really, really relevant, and again, going right into our Rotary clubs and our districts. 2020 digital ad dollars overtook main channel for advertising. Digital ad share exceeds 200 billion. Podcasting. I don't know if all of you are listening to podcasts. If any of you have opportunity to be podcast guests, I am in that space, and this has all been learned and me diving in and realizing, oh my gosh, this has made an impact. Everything that I'm going to share with you guys today has been myself doing trial and error and coming in and going, oh my gosh, this is what's working. Digital marketing is a global reach, as you all know. Social media, we don't have to be afraid of social media. I'm not here to give you guys a social media lecture. What we're going to discuss is ways that as a district and as individual clubs, you can utilize the strength of the members that you already have, who is interested in doing that, and how we kind of capitalize on that using whatever different platforms each of you are comfortable with, but making a broader reach. Digital marketing captured 64% of the ad dollar. Print is dead. I mean, it just is. It just is. So this is something that in front of the club, we go over kind of those stats a little bit. For those who like statistics, you can take a glance. When we talk about the different digital marketing platforms, Amazon, Facebook, Google, YouTube, Instagram, there are those TikTokers out there. I don't TikTok. I'm having great success without being on TikTok. Maybe I just can't do it still. I definitely love utilizing Zoom, StreamYard, the live stream video, the different things that are out there. Some of them very user-friendly, some more complex. The great thing is there's so many choices. There's no reason to not utilize these kinds of things. But what we're really going to talk about today is utilizing traditional media as well. That is a big deal and something that goes unlooked at. And news stations and things like that. I'm going to unshare for a minute because I want to kind of sit there for a minute. When it comes to our clubs, one thing that really broke my heart the last 4 years is I got deeper into being a Rotarian and proud of our club and the outreach that we do. And I'm out there doing the community service just like all of you and loving it. But I also see from a bigger picture for somebody who does this for a living. And I'll just be out and about or meeting friends or clients or colleagues, and they go, oh, what is Rotary again? What do you guys do? I mean, how many of you, and feel free to unmute anytime you want. You guys don't have to stay muted for this. This is interactive, not me doing a webinar. I mean, we still get that, right? What are some of the, like, go ahead and throw it out there. What are some of the things people say if you say, I'm a Rotarian? What are some of the common things that come out?
What's Rotarian?
Are you part of the KKK or the cult?
Right? Is that an old person's club?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it just a bunch of rich people having happy hours? I'm a member of the Rancho Santa Fe Club, so there's a stigma. I live in San Marcos very happily. I lived in Ontario for 20 years. I just fell in love with that club because I went in as a guest speaker and then I never left. That's what happened. If I had come to you guys first, believe me, you'd be my home club. This is how it went down. That's how it went down. That is tragic to me. I want to rest on that for a second because 10 years ago, I understand that. 10 years, I get that. But today, with what we have, the tools that we have, I mean, if a teenager can sit there and have their cat go viral, why can we not, as an organization, and I'm not just speaking individual clubs, I mean worldwide, it is tragic that we are set in our old way. We're very proud of the outreach we're doing. But what I think should switch and the narrative that needs to change, and I'm on a mission right now by speaking to different clubs throughout to change that narrative that the media, that social media, whether it be YouTube, Facebook, those that are on TikTok, local news, whatever, goes, oh my God, we are so sick of Rotary. Because they should be like, there's Rotary on the news again, cleaning up the beach. Oh, there's Rotary again doing a food drive. Oh, there's Rotary again doing this. Oh, look at them helping those kids again. Would they stop calling us with their outreach? We have, crime to cover, right? I would much rather you guys start, sharing the fact that, like, wow, the news station said they've covered us too much this month. We've got to lay off till next month. Wow, we have so many views. We have so many people asking us questions on social media are going, wow, we see a mixed demographic of individuals. This isn't just this demographic. It's not just older retirees. It's also young people. Wait, we've got Rotaract. We've got high schoolers now saying, hey, we want to get involved. Why is that not common knowledge with today's media. The news channels are looking for stories, and I'm going to click back over here. I'm going to screen share again. You're going to walk this with me. I apologize for the informality, but I thought it would be a lot more fun. Let me get on the right clip here. There we go. I'm going to give this as an example. Are you looking at my retirement resource and then the horse? Okay. One of those is my client. The other one is a nonprofit that I sit on the board of directors for as well. I've known them for a long time. It's fantastic. I want to give this to you as an example. So Bo Henderson, the Retirement Resource Show. He's a really well-respected retirement advisor out of Georgia. We met one time when I was hosting television 4 years ago. He called me out of the blue a year and a half ago and just said, I don't know if you remember me, but I'm really wanting to be an advisor more digitally. I want to have a live stream show. He does a lot of radio. He's already very comfortable with camera and radio. He says, but I want to increase the visibility because there's so many pre-retirees that don't know what to expect and how to go to that next level. And he just has, great advice with that. So we put this together by using just StreamYard, bringing in guests. It's amazing the people that will say yes to wanting to do an interview to talk about your outreach or to talk about your mission. This is an example of a business, but it's still no different. We have had some pretty first-class authors and individuals that come in and be on this live stream platform that we put together. And his business has grown exponentially because of people wanting to know more, because he's hitting the topics and hitting the heart of the topic. So that's just an example of that. Saddles and Service this is my favorite example. If anything sticks with you today, I want you to think about this because the same thing resonates for what we do as Rotarians. Saddles and Service is an equine therapy resource center ranch for PTSD, for our first responders, our military and veterans and their families. So they use rescue horses for PTSD equine therapy. They are so busy running a ranch. They have to feed horses. They have volunteers. They have employees. They have staff. So they were having a hard time for people to know that they're there. And they were barely making ends meet as a nonprofit, and also this is their home, to keep the horses fed and to keep things afloat. So all I did was come in about 4 years ago and said, hey, let's just at least make San Diego County aware that you're here. Let's make them aware that you're here. And KUSI News was so excited to come out. It was a phone call. It was not much effort for me to say, we've got a ranch out there making a difference. So they came out, filmed out on the ranch, got a lot of attention. Donations went up. Then somebody saw it that was doing a documentary for PTSD. That documentary decided to add them to that documentary. Now, this is a 4-year stretch that I'm giving you the history of visibility. That documentary opened doors for more grants that came in. Then the Discovery Channel saw the successful documentary and now added them to Discovery Channel. So 4 years ago, this ranch was barely keeping the 11 horses fed. Today, they have unbelievable support coming in. They have 2 more locations, one in Texas and one in Wyoming. They have a wait list. They're bringing in more staff and more volunteers. And now, because of their visibility on this documentary and on the Discovery Channel, they just picked up an annual $150,000 a year donor because of visibility and because of a phone call to the local television station. Now, I'm not saying that every outreach that's going on the news is going to have that result, but that was something that I have physically been a part of and watched firsthand and went, oh my God, this works. Imagine if as a club, each one of our individual clubs said, I want to help make that kind of visibility. Because what we're doing is we're doing a great job. I go to our socials, I go to our outreach. We have so much fun taking our selfies together, right? We look good when it's festive and we've got theme nights and we take all these great pictures and we share them with each other. And we do outreach and we share it with each other. And maybe somebody's in charge of putting it on our business page for Rotary. The problem is, the only ones that see it? All of us. That's not helpful. We need to find someone in that group that knows how to run that business page as a business page, increase followers, share the content, put ad spend money into it. We have budgets. We all have budgets in our Rotary. Advertising should be part of that. Even if it's just, okay, we're gonna put $40 a week into boosting some of these posts on our business page and do target ads to try to create this visibility. There are some simple things that can be done to increase that visibility. And I just say it's time to change that narrative. What if we all started being on the news for the outreach that we're doing in all the different regions that we are? What if each district took on a different level of saying, okay, collectively, we're going to step up our PR? Because it doesn't have to be the old school way of doing PR. For my entire career, I was, especially when I was touring as a recording artist, I got caught up in the recession. So I was a wholesale mortgage lender when the recession hit in 2008. So we all know what happened to that industry and what happened to my job. Bye-bye, right? I had always been performing, been singing, and volunteering with the USO for our military and veteran community. So I did a shift at that time and said, I'm going to take the same business skills and I'm going to take all of that and put it into my music industry and my music business and start going and asking for the business. And within 6 months, I was opening for Clint Black on a sold out stage on the 4th of July in Arizona by asking for that business. I put together, but what I had to do then was literally still pieces of paper in a marketing folder. I had a flip phone and I'm driving from place to place as I'm promoting my business and getting those, my touring schedule up and going. I can't even imagine if I had the tools then that we have now. Some of this digital world, let me tell you, it's exhausting. I've been staring at this little camera light all day. I was coaching a client early this morning. I've done 2 podcasts, 3 interviews of other radio interviews. And now you guys are my last ones of the day. So I'm a little bit more off the cuff with you because it has been 12 straight hours of me staring in this light. But it's so worth it. I toured. I drug kids around the country. I was a spokesperson for the American veterans. And boy, talk about breaking some old narratives and barriers on that one too. The AMVETs are wonderful, amazing group, but it was old school. So I went town to town, radio station to radio station, supporting the veterans, making it known. I had service officers with me so we could increase the membership for AMVETs. And now as a Rotarian, I see there's a lot of the same patterns that are taking place. We're reaching out, we're inviting our friends to come and join. We're saying, come check out Rotary. Imagine if we utilize some of these skills. Imagine if one person from every club was interviewing on podcasts to talk about Rotary. Just putting stuff out. There is no charge to be on a podcast. I have an amazing platform called Podmatch. Took me a couple days to get my platform and my profile up and going. But I'm telling you, I have more interviews than I know what to do with, and I have to be careful and make sure they fit into my schedule. And it costs me nothing but the fee to be on that platform. But there's other ones that are even free. What if one person was a spokesman for the group and said, I'm going to start talking about Rotary? What if every district stepped up that level and said, we're going to find those people that are willing to run ads on our business page. We're going to find that one person that wants to be comfortable. Because being uncomfortable in front of the camera, it is here to stay. And I know it's not for everybody. But when was there a time, even before 2020, did you guys have Zoom meetings and have district meetings like this as a PR group? No, it's here to stay. And we've all learned to get comfortable with it. I had a really good time when COVID first hit because I was already media coaching. And then I watched this virtual world unfold and I was like, oh, here we go. We see everybody on camera that we've, okay, let's frame ourselves. Let's look in the camera. Because the biggest thing with, if you're podcasting, if you're in a virtual meeting, I hope you feel that I'm looking at you right now. Like, I want you to feel like we're all sitting in the same room together and my energy is here with you and we're all engaged as if we're together. And we have to create a relationship with the camera that allows that to happen. There are enough of us in each club to make that happen. I can name the 4 people in my club that's like, oh yeah, all right, Tom can do it. Oh, Dawn has no problem. And I know the ones that need to be helping behind the scenes, creating the opportunities, reaching out and finding our speakers and creating our community outreach. That's why we're such an amazing group as Rotarians. We use each other's strengths. But can you guys all think of someone in each one of your clubs that you know would not have a problem being a spokesman for the group PR-wise? And it probably is you, but I'm just curious. Or are you guys like, no way, there's no one in our club?
We're coming from a lot of different clubs. So, yeah, everybody should have somebody. Susan, did you have something to say?
Hi. So I'm the PR person. I mean, so I usually run around going to different events, chamber
Uh-huh.
events, and just pictures, mixers, the district, the newspaper. So yeah, I've been doing that, but I need all of the extra tips because
Yes.
that was a thing that just kind of one day like, okay, I'm gonna do it.
I've
So
got a
I'm
great
learning.
I got some great suggestions for you. So you guys, if you're at you've chosen a venue and you're having your mixer, let's just say that this is your social, right? It would be amazing to turn on the camera and showcase the business that you're at. We're so thankful that such and such location has allowed us as Rotarians to come in and use this place. We want somebody turn on the camera and get the manager and say, thank you. What's your name? Bob. Bob, you are so good to us every week. We are so grateful that you allow us here as Rotarians. And somebody puts that out. Guess what? Bob's going to share that. We're saying thank you back to the community. They're going to go, wow, those Rotarians. And then guess what? Hey, Bob, we've got the local news coming out here tonight to cover this as well. We're so thankful we get to showcase your business while we're doing this. Finding ways to make those real connection points, and businesses and managers and individuals, they really appreciate that. And it's what a great organic way to get out there even more and show the community we're here.
Amy, can you touch on the difference between pictures and videos? Because, I think we do a lot of pictures and that's awesome, but I think we're shy to get on the video
Yes.
or to take a video. So maybe just kind of take it from the point of how important video is versus picture, and then secondly, how we hold our camera and a few
Let's go
few
there.
of those tips.
Okay.
Okay.
So we're back to that scenario that you're at a great location. You're now deciding, I want to shout out to this community business. We want to let them know that Rotarians care about our local businesses as much as our community, because they go hand in hand, right? Everybody, it's interesting. It's funny that you'll notice a lot of somebody turns on the camera that like there's a handful of people that scatter or hit the floor. And then you've got the clowns in the group. I've made it a habit even of sending most of my text messages as a video. You can practice this. It's a really good way to practice because messages get lost in the photos and just text. We can put the great text. People are scrolling. They got the attention span of a goldfish. I did a silly video the other day trying to use my husband's the yard, the blower. I'd never used a blower before. It had great kickback. I just turned the camera on while I was doing the yard blower and put it out there. I'm cracking up. I've had like 1,000 views on this organically because it was funny. So maybe you guys have someone that's the comic in the group and just choosing something funny. But when you turn on the camera, the worst thing you can do is 20 takes. And I know there's a lot guilty of it. You turn it on, you do the first take, you don't like it. You click it again, you do the next take, you don't like it. I guarantee it's going to keep getting worse. Generally, the first or second take are going to be your best. You know why? The energy. Like if I had to come on, let's say we finish this and we're all done and we're going to come on and do it again in an hour, my energy is going to be down. Just naturally, that's human nature. But the first time you're like, oh, we are here as Rotarians. We're so excited about this outreach. We're out here at blah, 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 and we're doing blah, blah, blah. And you get right to the point. You don't turn on the camera and say, yeah, so we're here today to tell you, yeah, so you got to think about what you're going to say before you say it. So you're thinking, all right, we're here. Here's my 3 talking points. I'm going to get this out in under a minute. I'm standing here with the wonderful business owner that has allowed us to come in and be a part of this today. And we're celebrating, the children's orchestra for blah, 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 blah. And as Rotarians, we are so proud to be a part of this and want to celebrate music for an outreach, right? So something like that. Whatever that, I'm just making stuff up, but bear with me. The best thing, then you take it and you hate it. You do one more. That's it. You take 2, you toss 1. If you make a habit of starting to take videos, take 2, toss 1. Look at the camera too. You always want to be looking at the camera. When you're on virtual meetings like this, if we were talking, you don't look down at the monitor, you got to look at the camera so you're making that eye contact. Take 2, toss 1. I don't advise going live, and here's why. Because when you turn on live, something in the brain is when you start going, yeah, so that's when that happens. Something about recording it that you're like, this is all right. It's not permanent. It's not out there yet. That you tend to gather your thoughts easier. And who cares if it's live or recorded? If I record something with my phone, I finish, I decide which one I like, put a little quick edit on it if I need to, and I post it 30 seconds later, does it really matter? Than if you saw the word live up there. What matters is the message. What matters is the content of what I'm doing. If you got 5 members of each club to say, we're going to start taking videos and everything that we're out doing together, and we're going to share that, and we're going to make sure we tag the business that we're at. And then you have someone that says, hey, I want to take charge of this business page. And I know that's the hardest thing. But Facebook and Instagram, I know they're a pain. Believe me, the algorithms, it's a pain. But it works. It absolutely works to get it out there. And when you tag key things, or if somebody knows how to even do boosts and run ads, now you guys are increasing your visibility. So let's say that the news channel comes out there, all right, and you guys get some good footage with what you're doing. Don't take that footage and just share the link to the news channel to where they have to click and go out of it. Most people will not. You ask the TV station to please send you a copy. Download that original video file to someone's computer and post it so that the video plays automatically. Then you can tag the TV station. You can put your hashtags in there. You can put all the thank yous, but you want that video to play because guess what? Now you can track the plays. Now you can run ads on it. If you just share a post, you can't run an ad. Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to just pause for just a second because there's a lot of concepts in what you said. But first, I'm going to say, Ted, you had a question?
Well, Amy, are you suggesting then that we put this on Facebook? And for somebody who's not particularly adept at Facebook, is that easy to figure out? Or is there a place where you can go to learn how to put it on Facebook?
Yes. What I would advise, though, is I am sure that there is at least a couple members in each club that uses these tools for their business. So you come up with a group plan that you send your videos to that person. That way you don't have everybody confused and saying, unless you are comfortable with it. There are ways to easily go through it. There are definitely some social media guides and people out there. But if you're that far out, then be the support person that says, I'm going to make sure that this video goes in a Dropbox link and gets sent to the person that can post this on behalf of all of us.
So they have to be an admin on your Facebook and or Instagram page. If you have questions on how to make somebody an admin, Dan and I can help you with that. And then when Amy's talking about tagging and hashtagging, these are all terms that some may or may not be familiar with. But when you post on Facebook, you can put a location button. That's one of the little icons underneath your post that you can show that what location you are. And then the hashtag is simply the # and like the business's name. Or for example, anytime any of you are posting anything anywhere that has to do with Rotary, you want to hashtag # District 5330, and then it sort of connects with our page as well and gives you a greater reach.
Yes.
Does that include the word district?
Yes, District 5330.
Yes.
So the other thing, and Amy, you talked about this a little bit in our club, is which direction are we holding our phone when we're doing this?
For video, you want to hold it sideways. Sideways gives the best camera angle. Also, number one thing that I share, please, if you remember this always for the rest of your life, for your personal photos and videos, clean the lens. Clean the lens. They get dirty and you wonder why you have blurry photos and videos and they don't look good. You probably looked fabulous that day you didn't clean the lens. So that, you remember, guys, you keep it in your pockets. Girls, they're in our purses. We know that it just gets a mess. Clean the lens. You're going to want to not answer a call. There we go. You're just going to want to hold it up, and you can go into edit after you take a video and snip the edges, because a lot of times we'll take that video and guess what's the first thing you see? You see me putting my finger on the button to turn it on and off. Go into the little edit after you take it. It's in your photos and your library there in your phone. Take it out. Just use that little scroll bar under edit that allows you to snip the edges. Next, so I wait, I pause. I'll turn it on and I give a nice pause and I'll go, I am so excited to be out here today with my friends and colleagues as we celebrate blah, 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 blah. If you have time, you can come down and see us, but check out this business. It's worth your time, blah, 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 blah. Thanks so much. And then I put a long pause and then I click off. That way I'm giving myself the opportunity to just snip that edge. And it just gives that little bit of professionalism so you don't see the fingers. You guys see those videos where you see the fingers? Those little bit of edges. And these are things that I think collectively, even if we did a meeting, we find the point guards for each one of your clubs that you guys represent. And then we do a little workshop saying, okay, here's what we can do for that part of the visibility for social media. I recorded a new album this last year in Nashville, and I released it in January. And I told you I toured for years. I've had amazing experiences, toured around the country, radio, TV interviews, town to town, kids in tow, on stage at night. I am way too old for that now. That was hard. I loved it, but that was definitely for my 30s. This year I recorded a major project that I did in Nashville, released it in January. And I'm only sharing this with you to show you the power of what I'm talking about, because everything I'm telling you that has happened right here at this desk. I have not left this desk except to go speak at a few clubs in the last 2 years. I don't know that there's a backyard or sunshine. I am ghastly pale. But my song is literally on the charts worldwide. From podcasting, inserting myself into interviews, utilizing the ad opportunities that I have with social media, making great connections and having virtual meetings where we have real connection, eye contact, using the resources that were at my fingertips, but using StreamYard, using YouTube. I produced my own music video and had it edited together at a very little budget. You guys could be doing some fun sizzle clips. Find someone who likes to edit, but here's the key. If you have no one in your group, there are high school students that need community service work. They are dying to fill those community service hours. Imagine if you ask one of them, will you just please edit the videos we do at our next community outreach and give us a nice sizzle clip with some fun music behind it and some words in lower thirds? We're going to sign off. You could get a couple friends to help you. Find those resources. There are college students that need that internship. We have resources of amazing kids that can help with this stuff. So I utilize the resources that I had to produce my own music video. And I have almost 100,000 views on it in 3 months. And I have not left this desk. I am not a touring artist right now, and I'm still on Music Row charts for 7 weeks as an independent artist. My phone is ringing because I have a music label that I just picked up as their media coach, because they want to know how I have beat them on the charts when they're a label. And it is literally these tools of saying, I'm going to utilize media, I'm on TV interviews, and I'm just reaching out myself and asking for it. That's it. And imagine if we do that, if I could do that for my music, being passionate about outreach and really caring about people, imagine what each one of us can do to level up the visibility for Rotary. It's going to take all of us collectively doing it. Because I can beg and plead my club to do it. We're increasing visibility, and we do. We have our local papers that come out. We were just on CBS Evening News, and it was a phone call. We were doing an outreach to help with Ukraine. We reached out to CBS News. They agreed to they did a virtual interview. They had our president on with a president in Ukraine, and we got incredible visibility and raised funds and collaborated with another club that was on the East Coast just by using the local news. And that's what I would love to see us level up to. I love coming to clubs. I'd be happy to come and do my formal presentation for each one of your clubs and discuss this to get the community and to get your communities excited about it. But our days of putting flyers on the table should be done. Our days of just taking pictures of ourselves and sharing it with each other on our WhatsApp group should be done. We need Southern California especially to be sick and tired of Rotarians, because we're out there doing so much and now they have to see it. And that's really the mission that I'm on, to try to make a difference. And now I would love to have more of your strategic questions and what you have. We can do more questions on how to frame yourself in virtual meetings and how to do all of that. But I really wanted to hit the big picture overview of the message behind this. So please go ahead and shout it out.
Well, this is Jay with New Gen Rotary. We're definitely going to invite you to come to our club. Just remember my name, Jay, yeah. New Gen Rotary.
You'll have easy access to me.
There you go. Perfect.
Thank you.
And Christy, did you have a question?
I do have a question. So I loved your slide about the digital platforms. I'm curious, being Rotary, how come you're not on LinkedIn?
I am on LinkedIn. I don't utilize it as much, and it just wasn't in the slide because yes, LinkedIn is absolutely a great thing. I'm not going to throw him under the bus. My husband just did the edits on my slide, and I wasn't looking. So I love him so much. We're fellow Rotarians, and but sometimes I'm like, so it just wasn't in there, but that was an oversight.
Okay, no, I'm just curious. It's a platform I'm going on to, and so I was like, I feel like Rotary should be on there. If you're on Instagram, definitely get onto LinkedIn as well. Yeah.
They charge more for the ads, but LinkedIn, oh my goodness, anything that can help us be visible and change the narrative. And I think it would be great if one club says, wow, we're getting great traction on this, and another club says, well, we got a lot of local news, and the other one says, hey, we had somebody in here who went TikTok crazy for our Rotary Club, and we have another one that loved Instagram. I think it's really fun if we can all figure out what are the different ones working in the different regions and then start sharing ideas. Because I'm only one person here doing it all like a trained circus monkey. But if we could come together collectively and say, this is what's working for us, especially in Southern California. Can you imagine as a region, if Northern California gets wind of this? Like, all right, this is
We'll blow them out of the water. Stephen,
Right?
go ahead. You have a question?
Amy, I do. We actually have a person, name him Kevin Taylor, who does actually a radio show out of San Diego every Sunday as a DJ. He has been putting on Instagram videos and direct contacts of our events.
Yay.
How can we actually move this forward that where our websites can even have videos? We have a website through DACDB.
Mm-hmm.
District 5330 is very strong in, but is there a way of doing that through there to even outreach? I have used Google tracking on our two websites, and it's phenomenal what I see around the world, understanding there are some glitches in there.
Right.
Your comments, please.
I would definitely, anything, if they're creating videos for you, if he's used videos, make sure you get a hard copy of them. Start creating that library, and never be afraid to use videos 10, 12, 20 times. Just because it's new, you know, it was, oh, we posted that one, or we used that video 6 months ago. It's new to whoever hasn't seen it. And then utilizing that, the more you put the same content out, that repetition is still helpful. Anytime then, if you're using those on your social media and running any ads, then have that link and that call to action go right to that website that you want everybody to go to. You want the cohesiveness that if they see something on the social media and they go to the website, they're seeing the same thing. So if they kind of match, then that really does help.
Okay.
So, Stephen, the technology-wise, how you can do that, and Dan can probably explain this a lot better. You're going to want to take those videos and put them on a YouTube channel. So your club needs a YouTube channel. The YouTube channel feeds and then you take the link from the YouTube channel and put it into DACDB in your stories, and that will get it to play. You can also play from the YouTube channel onto Facebook, Instagram, stuff like that. So YouTube is where your library is going to be. You'll find this video, for example. This is going to be on the district. You go to the district YouTube channel and you'll see all of our training and everything there. So that does a lot of different things. Number one, it gives you an ability to use that video in an ease way on your website, on your social media, etc. But it also increases search engine optimization, increases the visibility of your club and of Rotary in general, because YouTube is searched by bots and those bots are picking up. So the more video we're putting on there, the better and higher we come up in people's algorithms. So Dan, do you want to add to that?
We really want to collectively flood it.
Yes.
We want to flood with Rotary and that keyword Rotary coming out in everything we do.
Amy, I want to, there was something you said earlier about which we all are kind of like guilty of, having our private Facebook page for the club, right? Because the only person that sees the Facebook page posts, it's within our members.
Yeah.
And then we post stuff that we've done, and then the same thing, the same people make comments. And once in a while, I see other people just go out of their way to post it on their own personal Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
But so my question is, what is the best way to be able to educate ourselves to say that can we still keep our Facebook page private while at the same time also sharing some of the information or whatever activity we're doing through our club page as opposed to individual pages?
Right. You run them separately for sure. So like for me, I have 2 business pages and 1 personal page. My personal page, I choose what goes on there, and I can't run ads or anything on it. If I want the same content, I have to put it on each business page separately as if it's brand new. If I share, I can't do as much with it. And so if your club page is a public page, it's like the pages that are the business page for Facebook, it's like we consider that our storefront. That's what the world can see. Our personal ones, it's like, okay, I want mom to see this, my close friends. But the business page for our individual clubs, that's what the world can see. Imagine if we regularly put up videos of just saying, what is Rotary? Who are we as a club? Who is Rotary? So that when people come to the page, they see a post that they like because it was a fun event or a community outreach, where then you're reaching all those members of the outreach you're serving. If they come to that page to want to know more, we want them to see what we're about. And if we take that time to share what we're about, we might keep them on that page longer. Like, wow, this is a great group. I want to join that. The same way I joined our group because it was a great group. And I went, wow, I want to join this group. And then I learned more about Rotary. We want to have that kind of attraction, and using your page for that storefront, that attraction, so that we're sharing, knowing that we want the world to see it, not just ourselves in our group. Judy, you have a thought?
Are you going to be going through the process of how to physically do this? Or are you going to eventually down the line show us how to create these videos? I can do that. That's not an issue. The problem is, where do you post them and how do you do it? And where do you get, you mentioned several things at the beginning, which included a podcast channel, and where we could get a podcast platform for free or at minimal costs, and also about video editing software. Is that on your phone, or is that some kind of magic thing?
Yes, there is editing software. It's a lot of tools, and it would be about 6 hours with you and I together to say, okay, here's an introductory lesson. But what can be done is choosing those top individuals in your group that already are saying, yes, I have the basics, I want to do this, I understand, and saying, okay, let's create a workshop.
This is really pathetic, but I'm that guy.
Outsourcing, or getting the interns and teenagers to come in and say, we want our community service and we're going to do this with you. So
Ted, that's why we're having these workshops every month. Dan, we want to know what you need to know, and then we will do workshops specifically and literally go through,
find those resources,
find the resource, well, even give you the tutorials as much as we can on a Zoom, and then try to get you a resource that'll help you going on down the line. Mm-hmm. I hear you. I see you, Stephen. Just one second. I want to add to Jay's question. On Facebook, there's a public business page that Amy was talking about, and then there is a Facebook group. A lot of the strategies, if you want to keep the private things private within your Facebook group, there's also a lot of limitations. You can't do ads, you can't do fundraisers, etc. on your group. And then you have the business page, which, to Amy's point, is very out into the world. This is where you try to get in, and you can do a Facebook fundraiser on a Facebook page, business page, but you cannot do it on a group. Right. So there's some differences there, and I'm sure we'll be going through this more again in future workshops. Stephen.
Amy, is there a way of tracking who sees us on media? I know on Google tracking for our websites, I have 2 different websites that I track all the time. Can we see that through social media also?
There is a way to track. It'll show you the insights, and it'll even tell you, you know, an age demographic that's looking, how many people viewed for how long. It won't show you the individuals, but it will break it down. And like right now, you know, I have like 10 ads running right now. And I do small amounts in some until I see how they're working. And I'll take a look and say, okay, wow, that one reached 10,000 people and 1,000 of them watched the whole video. Okay, that's really good. There's only going to be that percentage that click out and that stay in. So I will track how things are resonating and connecting. Also, if you start seeing people connecting with what you're putting out there and showcasing your community and your business, the more you showcase others, the more it's going to come back to you. When we get the biggest message I really want you guys to see is when we get stuck with each other. And I love my club too. We're close. We're all family. But we tend to just then have our stuff be between us. When we think about how do I reach out, and if we met these wonderful people at this outreach event, I want to make sure that we send this to them. I want to make sure that they were recognized in this post. I want to make sure this business is thanked. We want to find ways, even if it is starting off small and it's some still pictures, that you thank them. But creating opportunity to make it a lot more of a realistic and a bigger engagement, so that our community is feeling thanked and welcomed by the Rotary.
But Amy, on Instagram, is there a way within Instagram to track your site?
It will give you insights. Once you do an ad, you can push the insights button and it'll tell you how many profile views you had, how many people clicked and went to the website that you had listed for them to click to. And so you can check the insights on that. Yes.
Thank you very much.
And I am a firm believer of outsourcing the social media. Again, I really love utilizing teenagers and college students. They are fabulous. There's no reason for us to have to take, we're all running our lives and our businesses and everything else at the same time. What I want to stress is the need for this. And especially even if you guys just start with media, just start with getting the local paper and the local news out there all the time. Make them sick of you. Even just start with that. That's a good way to start. It's a good way to go. Radio stations, they want people. They're losing everybody to Spotify. We still have great radio stations in our community that want to hear about what's going on. They always have the community minute and the community interviews. Reach out to them.
I don't want to get too far in without having Amy, if you wouldn't mind sharing your email that you'd like, if you would like people to contact in the chat. And Dan, can you also share your email? We are all resources here for you at the district level. We want to help you sort through all of these questions that you have.
Here's the website as well.
Christy, you have a question about outreach?
Yeah, so several times now, I think in my mind, and I think this is relatable to everyone, even though I'm not technically in Rotary, but my mind is going to see how I might be able to help Troy in Rotary, is you have this music background, so you're comfortable calling a station and saying, hey, you know, you might want me on your station. Is that all you do? Or like, how does that conversation start? Do you have your connections, or is it like, hey, I'm Amy and this is what I do, and I would love to see if you guys want this from me? Or like, can you just walk us through what that outreach introduction looks like?
If I'm reaching out for one of the nonprofits I represent, then I'm Amy, and I call and say, hey, I work with Saddles and Service. This is what they've got going on. And I usually can go onto a website where it says for stories or anything, reach here. A lot of times I can start with an email. The news stations all have literally the person to contact right on their websites. Pretty easy. Same with radio stations. To reach the program director, here. So you can really even start with an email with that Rotary logo on it and do a nice ask. Hey, we've got this going on. We'd love to have this covered. So very simply, you could start with the email. A phone call as well, if you can get somebody on the phone. Yes, I represent the Rotary Club in our area, and we are doing this food drive, and we would love to have coverage. If there's time in your news day, here's where it's going to be. Who do I need to talk to? Who do I need to talk to? And they might, and I had, it was a couple weeks ago, I reached out to one of the stations for a World War II veteran that was reuniting with one of his Normandy survivor fellow service members, and they hadn't seen each other since then. And they reunited after all these years. But it was a big news day. They didn't notify them until an hour before that they were able to clear the space in the Newsday to have the crew go out there. So sometimes you got to be patient. Maybe they can't answer you till that morning, but guess what? When they show up, it's so worth it. They love it. They love it. And then you build a relationship and you've got a person there, and then they're going to take your call the next time. But usually with an email, go to their social media, send a message. A lot of times you'll get a reply. I literally reach out through Messenger, or I email them, or if I need to pick up the phone. Amy, the artist, if I'm trying to get an interview with a radio station, my name is Mary and I represent Amy Scruggs Media. And I actually use a different name so that they don't know it's me if I'm trying to get my own press. And I've been doing that for years.
Good to know. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Can I ask one more question since it's
Absolutely.
quiet?
You can.
That's why I'm here.
As we're talking about getting Rotary's name out there, what I'm hearing is you're looking for presence. You're looking for pushing ads. We want everybody to know what Rotary is. You said make them sick and tired of us.
Yes.
But I'm curious, is the next step of that to get enrollments into Rotary? Is that like the momentum here, or is it truly just like building the presence?
I think both happen at the same time.
Okay.
I don't think either one is the wrong answer, because if people see us out there and the understanding of who Rotary is and what we do, you're going to have people go, yeah, I want to join that. I mean, I noticed that there are times I talk to people all over the country because of what I do. And I mention Rotary and they're like, well, I've heard of that. And what do you do? I've had people join Rotary clubs in their areas in other states from us having a conversation. So, and we all know stories that's happened just by sharing our passion. Well, imagine just taking that on a bigger platform. And so organically, that's going to happen. People. It
doesn't. Most Rotarians, if you ask where they came in to becoming a Rotarian, they maybe were on a service project or came to an event. And getting the general understanding of who Rotary is and what we're doing out to the general public helps us when we're having a fundraising event, or we're trying to find volunteers to help us with whatever service project we're doing, or all of those things combined is what really brings Rotary up into the top of mind awareness, as well as helps us gain more volunteers, more members, and more fundraising.
Mm-hmm. There is just no bad outcome to any increased visibility, even just starting small. There is just no bad outcome. Only good can come from that. And that's how I see it. And I've watched it happen with my clients. I've watched it happen in my own business every day. It's amazing. My visibility is increasing more and more and more and more and more just by doing different interviews, just by inserting myself with the tools that are available to us, that I'm noticing the increase even to how much my website is getting viewed and what the analytics are looking like. And you have to start small, but collectively we're so much stronger. If I was just dealing with any of you one-on-one, we'd be walking this process. But what I'm doing is saying, let's as a group find the resources closest to you that can expedite this, because you all have them.
So Anna has a question. How do I convince members of my club to be on social media who are worried about privacy? I'd say about half our members are not willing to put themselves out there at this point.
That's fine. Then they can take video of what's going on at community service without being in it, and share and send that video to the person in the group that wants to be posting. Not everyone has to do it. We really only need one person from each club to go next level, and your visibility is going to really increase.
But I've talked to many PR directors or PR chairs in clubs, and most of the time they're just dying for the content. And I think that's the biggest thing, is trying to get club members comfortable with sending the content. Send me the pictures. I know Dan struggles with this as well. We'll be talking about an editorial calendar, and Dan can maybe speak for a second about that, and how much that changes the game. And we'll be I'll let you talk about that, Dan.
Yeah. So thank God for Judy. She put together a editorial calendar for me to work off of. So I think my slowly developing expertise is more of getting the content, putting it together, and getting it out there. So Judy has outlined, mapped it all out for me. Every day it's a different topic. In Rotary, we've been following, monthly themes. So that helps us, figure out what content we need. But yeah, it definitely, if you plan it ahead, it definitely makes it easier, quicker, to put things together and get that information out there, on a schedule. So there's lots of content all the time, lots of things for people to see.
And there's a lot of content that we have to fill in the in between your events and your different content that you're getting from your club. There's tons of content on Rotary.org, and we pull from that. As we wrap up, because we are actually already at 6:29, I would like to say thank you so much, Amy, for coming. Big applause for Amy. Thank you so much for coming.
I hope this was helpful. It's so much to squeeze in, but I hope this was helpful in opening up the possibilities and seeing it from a different perspective.
And that's my question out to all of you. This is our first workshop. Did you find this helpful? And what are the topics that you'd like us to cover in the future?
Well, I thought it was very helpful. I'm happy that you did this. I get the PR part. I don't get the technical part of how to post these things. That's just kind of like a mystery to me. And our mayor in Fontana has this stuff down. I guess I need to trot behind her for quite a while and watch her do it, because
yes, just find a point guard.
She knows what she's doing. Thanks.
Yeah, I think that's one of the best points of ideas is find somebody that is comfortable with doing it, and then just if you want to learn with them. But there's some of these younger Rotarians, or it doesn't even have to be younger Rotarians, people that are comfortable with social media can do it really quickly, and they get it. So you just have to feed them the content. So make sure you're getting people on your committee. It doesn't have to be a one-woman, one-man show. You need lots of people working with you to make it successful. So we will be definitely talking about the technical side of lots of different things. We'll come up with a schedule. Next week or next month, we will talk about an editorial calendar, because I guarantee you if you start with that, that will will make your life a whole lot easier. The other thing is, how many of you have checked out the new district website? 2. Okay. District5330.com or .org, I'm sorry. Please check it out. We just launched the new website. It has a lot more information. It's way different than it was before. If you ever had come to look at the district website, it's definitely more enhanced. There's a lot of resources on there. We will be putting these resources, links to this type of resource in our section under PR so that you can get to them. The second question is, how many people have checked out our District 5330 Facebook page? Okay, please do so. Check it out, follow it, because we will help promote you, and send stuff to Dan Cortese as you have events and different bits of content. He will be sure to share it out. With that said, I don't want to keep you guys too much longer. This has been recorded. We'll have it on the YouTube page. Would love your feedback and information. If anyone wants to stay and has additional questions, I'm happy to stick around for a little bit and do that. Amy, once again, thank you so much for coming on and making this so special today.
Would you do an email to all of us so I can just at least say thank you, and then you all have access to me if you need to, or just even just a quick, whoever's comfortable, or just reach me at amy@amyscruggsmedia.com.
I'll put your information in an email that I'll send out once we have this link up on YouTube. I'll put that link into all presidents and all PR chairs so they have it, and then they'll have your information as well.
Perfect.
All right.
Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Judy. Bye-bye.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Does anybody?